native cultures associated them with sun gods.
You had one right there, babe.
Wow.
Is it right there?
It fit. It was eating.
They can slip perceivable time into an 80th of a second. In the time that bird was at the hand feeder, it flicked its tongue once, it had a heartbeat, a full cycle of its wings, and a full respiration in and out. Yeah. Their blood circulates so fast that it works like an internal gyro.
Wow.
And that's how they stay stable in the air.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a vast engineering, you know.
They're amazing.
feat.
And science is just now starting to learn about them because they can't tolerate captivity or confinement at all.
I see.
And you can't like put them in a zoo or into a lab or stick them in an aviary and observe them because
They won't survive.
not a day. They panic and die.
So their whole thing is about movement all the time,
Yeah,
except when they're in torpor.
yeah. Or nesting. That's
He's
what.
enjoying that one much more than.
Ooh, the purple is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That green one.
Yeah. And green on the back. Oh, great. So
Look at his tail.
there's a nest, and people from our condo probably came over and told you there's a nest, and the two baby birds, the mama does
Good job,
not
babe.
feed the baby. Is that right? They are on their own
Once
shell
they
cracks?
leave the nest, yeah.
Oh, once they leave the nest.
Yeah.
So they are.
While
fed.
they do leave the nest, mom force feeds them. They leave the nest, they've got like 2 weeks of subcutaneous fat to keep them alive while they learn how to feed themselves and fly. And because when they leave the nest,
They're on their own.
yeah. And the last thing they do when they build a nest is they wrap it with spider webs. And that expands as the babies grow. And when they leave the nest, it snaps back and they can't get back in.
Oh, we humans could do that with our young adults, right?
Yeah. You got a high school education, you got a diploma. When you
Yeah.
leave the door, it locks behind you.
That is
They're
great.
things you can't even. There's now they can probably record that, right? And then you can slow it down to be able to see each movement of the wings. I gotta stop moving.
Yeah. I need a much better camera for that.
Yeah.
The ultra slow motion stuff that they take is fascinating.
It must be.
David Attenborough has a documentary that's on YouTube and Amazon Prime called Hummingbirds Jeweled Messengers.
Okay, we'll have to watch that.
Yeah, he goes into some of the exotics that live down south.
Now this guy, there's one up there, a couple stuff, and once in a while I'll see him rest like that. When we're at home, we have a feeder, and there's one in the tree up there.
Mm-hmm.
So they do seem to be resting, but it's not for long, is it?
No.
To just keep eating.
They have to consume 125% of their body weight every day.
That's water, sugar, total,
And bugs.
and
Bugs.
bugs.
80% of their diet is insects.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah.
Look at the little skin touches.
I put kitchen scraps in these, and it grows fruit flies.
Oh, yeah.
If all you have is a sugar feeder and they don't have access to the bugs, they'll use the sugar and go elsewhere to hunt bugs.
Oh.
This way they stay right here. They got
Yeah.
everything they need.
Yeah. It also makes it a popular breeding spot.
Wow.
The Costas, the Broadtails, and the Annas have all been breeding since October.
So you've had nests all around here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a stand of bougainvillea between the two hotels across the street. It's full of hummingbird nests. if you walk by the bougainvillea, the moms come out and get in your face like,
Oh,
what you
my.
doing?
You can feel the wind from your
Yeah.
hands.
Pretty purple.
They're just so, they really are amazing little birds.
They're the only bird that can hover. They're the only bird that can fly backwards. They are also the only bird that can fly upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah, they fly upside down all the time when they're hunting bugs.
That one did a lot. That was cool. That purple is so
So
beautiful.
beautiful. Now, how long are they in the nest? You know, once the egg, once they first come out
About
of the
3.5
shell?
to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And when they come out, they're actually bigger than the adults because of the fat they have.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're easy to spot because they're clumsy in the air.
Yeah.
They'll miss a perch, they'll like do things like lose their balance when they lift their head up, or they'll start their wings before they let go with their feet, and that tips them upside down. It's pretty hilarious. And then, like in a week, they're masters.
Only 1 week.
Yeah.
And they live for 5 to 8 years?
Around 9 max.
9 maximum.
Really?
Yeah. But they live a very precarious existence. And, you know, they have strokes, they have,
What?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, if your heart was beating
Yeah.
80 beats a second, your blood pressure would probably be high.
What prompted your interest in then setting up all the feeders and whatnot?
I was really sick 8 years ago, and the treatment was harsh. And a friend of mine put up a hummingbird feeder, and about all I was able to do for a long time was to sit outside and watch a hummingbird feed. As I got better, I started putting them up. And I started researching, like, what they prefer, what they like, and how to do things. The thing I'm proudest of is this area here with these 8 feeders is pretty much a demilitarized zone. The feeders on the outskirts, they'll set up territories and defend it.
Oh, and dive bomb each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here, they pretty much
That's cool.
let everybody eat.
Mm.
They're hummingbirds, and they'll fight over everything else, but at least here they're not fighting over the food.
So they've learned the food is stable. It's there for them. They don't have to necessarily.
And even some of the migratory hummingbirds have learned that about here.
Okay. So same
Because
ones are
this
coming
is a
back.
very popular stop
Yes.
for the rufous, the allards, the calliopes. Yeah, they go from Yucatan to British Columbia.
Yeah.
They're the smallest bird in North America.
Oh my gosh.
They're a little bit bigger than a bumblebee. Yeah.
Oh my word.
And they're very fast and very shy. As soon as they feel like you've seen them, they take off. Well, at that size, they're not going to win any fights.
No, they aren't. You're right. You're right. Well, so we in Portland we've got a couple of feeders on our deck, and then
She did a little dance.
we've got a bunch of crows. A real, I don't know what a murder of crows, but I mean it's so many crows. It's more than all the undergraduate and graduate students, the total students at Portland State University. So it's like there's been this invasion, but I don't see any, altercations, but that doesn't mean they aren't happening. What would their main predators be?
The hummingbirds?
Yes,
Roadrunners.
here,
Yeah.
right, roadrunners.
Ravens and crows are nest robbers.
Okay,
But hummingbirds on the wing, they don't even try for.
because they can't catch them.
Well, it's too fast and too much, not enough food. to
Good point,
make the
yeah.
effort worth it. We have a pair of Cooper's hawks that nest across the street in a big oak tree,
Yeah.
and they don't hunt hummingbirds. They hunt the birds that hunt the hummingbirds.
Oh, another reason they feel safe here.
Mm-hmm.
This is magic.
We haven't seen nothing.
Oh, it's still more to come? Really?
Yeah.
So cool. How many do you think you get in a night? Or what's the max you've ever think you've received at?
I've seen well over 100. But you'll see in a few minutes how
Really?
impossible getting a
Couldn't
count would
possibly
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
count them,
Yeah.
There was a teenager with autism that used to live here, and his mom would bring him to watch the hummingbirds. And they were swarming, and she asked me how many were here, and I was like, and the kid, without turning around, went 47.
Wow.
He's been sitting there counting the whole time.
They just know.
Yeah.
They can just look. Their minds
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah.
And they'll perch on your hand to rest while they go to a hand feeder. That's a thrill.
That's gonna be cool.
It is.
Do they? I haven't noticed any in here in the water, but do they drink from the fountain at all, or
It's
just feed in it?
their drinking fountain, it's their bathtub, it's their swimming pool, and it's also their toilet.
Okay.
So I got to clean it all the time.
Oh,
But during the migration, when they're coming off the desert to the north or the desert to the south, they'll fly right into the big basin, submerge totally, and fly up to one of the swings to fluff out.
Oh, cool.
Clean birds fly faster. And during the nesting, the females come and they get on the top of the bird bath and use it like a bidet.
goodness. See, that's, I knew if I had it in my hand, I would just like totally.
So when they all show up,
Uh-huh.
they'll be just. They'll run out of. They'll have to come to us more because there won't be enough.
Oh, there's plenty, and they
Oh,
know that.
yeah. There's a whole bunch of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the ratio of? You have different ratios of sugar to water.
Uh-huh. In the big feeders, it's a third of a cup to 1 cup water. And in the summer, I scale it back to a quarter cup to 1 cup. Because I also take down a lot of the feeders because the population shrinks down to about 60 to 80.
I see.
It's a lot like the city of Palm Springs, you know.
Yeah.
The sun comes out and
Yeah.
the people who aren't here for the long haul take off.
Right. Right.
What's fun about the summer here is that it is when the black chins do their mating while all the winter visitors are gone.
Interesting these days how much wind
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
create.
yeah. They get lift on both sides of their wing stroke.
Ah,
It's not a
Okay.
flap like up and down.
yeah.
It's a figure 8 sculling motion.
Are they the only bird that does that?
Yeah.
So how are scientists? You said that they haven't been able to study them, but they're becoming more interested. What? Are
Well,
they finding
the
ways?
technology has gotten much more portable.
I see.
And they have things like the super slow motion cameras that can capture
Uh-huh.
what goes on. Because with that camera, I take slow motion, you still can't see their wings. And that's at half speed.
Are they thinking it might help for aviation, for flight? For
The guys
plane-
that are
airplanes?
building drones are really looking at the hummingbirds. The guys that design for human pilots don't really study the hummingbirds because hummingbirds do things for fun that kill human pilots. There's a female black chin that's here that I call Max, after Max Immelman, the German ace, because one day I saw her do an Immelman turn. Yeah. If you're in a biplane being chased and you gun the engine, pull into a sharp loop, and at the top do a half roll,
Oh my.
you're on top of the guy trying to follow you,
Yeah.
going the other way. The problem is it tends to kill you.
Minor detail.
Well, if you got a guy on your tail and you're gonna die anyway, you know.
The G's that
Yeah.
that they it kills them from just the force,
Yeah.
the forces.
The blood can't reach their head.
So are you Ukrainian?
No, but I have friends in Ukraine.
Okay.
After the Russians invaded, I found an AA meeting in Kyiv that I've been going to for the last 3 years.
Zoom,
Yeah.
obviously.
But they love the hummingbird videos.
You speak Ukrainian?
No. No, everybody in Ukraine speaks English.
Oh, so the meeting's in English.
Yeah, well, if I'm there, they like to share in English, or somebody will like type a translation for me. But you know, when you're in an AA meeting that's held in a bomb shelter, the meaning of the words really kind of doesn't matter. You know, I'm just happy to see my friends there. Although I can say, go fuck yourself in Ukrainian. Idi doba.
That's good. What a mess.
Yeah. In Palm Springs, I don't like that they're being mean to my Canadian neighbors.
Exactly.
Most of the Canadians that come here for the winter are property owners.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And now they're wandering around going, I never thought California real estate would be a bad investment. They don't know.
Yeah.
You know, some moron in the White House could sign a memo,
Exactly.
you know.
Right. Or, you know, the uncertainty, and then
Well,
it starts
I golfed
to
with somebody
yeah.
from Alberta, and they've had it since 2013, and they said they're going to put their place on the market
Yeah.
because they just are so
Yeah,
unsure about what's
exactly.
happening.
Yeah. I've gotten, this year, I've gotten 4 notes from Canadian friends saying, it's nothing personal, but we're not coming this year.
We saw 2 gals at Sunnyland that Vancouver, BC, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they said,
Good!
but they said the only reason they're here this time is they already had booked.
Yeah.
They said they're not coming back, at least for 3.5 years.
Yeah, well, the people that contacted me, I told them, that's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard. You're apologizing to me for showing good sense. I'm mainly trying to keep the hummingbirds between me and all the madness.
That's
That's a
something.
good
Yeah.
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 So does your YouTube channel have voice and
Yeah.
it's got both? So
Yeah.
it's recording what we say and everything?
Yep.
Can it see all 4 of us?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
If you say Slava Ukraini, you'll make the folks in Kyiv very happy. That means glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraine.
Slava
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Oh, Slavic.
Absolutely.
There's a group of 8 of them in the meeting that I've gotten to know well. They man an anti-aircraft battery. And they have named their battery the Tatihiak battery because that's the Apache word for hummingbird.
Aww.
Cool.
Yeah, and I've sent them feathers. They put them on their helmets. And
Ted, I'm
He looked
allergic to
cute.
cats.
oh,
Beautiful
sorry.
color. It's just
No,
so.
I can, it's no, I,
Yeah.
it's only if I
Yeah.
get real close to it.
okay.
Not terribly.
Yeah, I got these two a few weeks ago because Moose, come on, he just told you he's allergic.
I think they know. And he loves them. He loves cats. So that's
Yeah.
kind of a.
A friend of mine had a fall and dislocated her hip. Had to move in with the son and daughter-in-law, and they told her, "We love you, Mom, but 5 cats is too many,
Yeah.
especially when you can't walk and empty the box."
Right.
So I got these two.
Oh.
Moose and Jackie. Moose is friendly, Jackie's a drama queen. Come on, Moose.
I see one over way over there. They're over there.
Working their way
They're
slowly.
working their way over. Yeah.
It is about to kick off.
Hey.
You can tell by the light, or
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some more that are further out that are thinking
Uh-huh.
about coming in.
Yeah, I haven't seen the anise. No, that's a cost. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that is.
Which one?
The one that's bigger than all the others with the bright red head.
okay, yeah.
Okay. So not flinch like that. It's just so startling.
Yeah,
So
they are
where's your
so
where's your
fast.
thing?
She didn't want it.
I knew that I would flinch and startle them. And yeah, I didn't want to make it hurt.
The only time they've ever collided with me
Yeah.
is when I flinch.
Ah.
The rest of the time they're like cab drivers in Rome.
There's probably some kind of metaphor in all of that, right? About how to live, like not flinch with.
Well, and they only weigh like 12 to 14 pounds. Their beaks are sharp, but there's nothing behind the punch.
Yeah.
Which is why when they attack other critters, hummingbirds go for the eyes. I've
Yeah.
seen one hummingbird drive a roadrunner away from the olive tree where her nests
Really?
were.
Sue and I are safe.
Yeah.
We have our glasses on. I can feel the air above my head
Uh-huh.
every once in a while as I come past.
Well, they're-
So they feed before they nighttime
yeah.
when they do their hibernating.
Mhm. And then they're out at the first sliver of daylight
You have to refill overnight.
all the time.
Oh wow!
This time of year, it's pretty much a
A full-time
daylight
job.
hour job.
Yeah, yeah. Now I hear they don't fly in flocks.
No,
They're just their own self, just
Yeah.
out there in the world.
yeah. Yeah. And if you think about it, it makes sense because they fly incredible distances and a flock of hummingbirds would attract attention. One little bitty tiny bird doesn't.
Not enough food.
Yeah.
That's